Prince of Peace. How can we speak of peace when the phrase endless wars accurately describes our world? If you sense that conditions are worse than usual, you're right. Currently, more than 50 nations suffer from armed conflicts, the most since 1946. Yet, during the Advent and Christmas seasons, we call on Jesus as the Prince of Peace, a title bestowed on him by the prophet Isaiah. This is more than a prophecy. It's a promise, but it's hard for us to hold on to hope. Recalling the sage advice of Fred Rogers that when we feel overwhelmed or in danger, we must look to the helpers. I'll seek out the peacemakers, starting with St. Benedict. He views seeking peace as one of the tools for good works that a community needs to survive. Citing Psalm 34, St. Benedict makes peace an imperative, writing, "Let peace be your goal and aim." Another translation of the rule of St. Benedict asks us to seek and strive after peace, reminding us that peace is never simply handed to us. Peace is something we work hard to make so that flawed people like ourselves can learn to get along despite our many differences. Seeking peace is made more difficult when dictators and politicians hitch their success to keeping us at odds and convincing us that those who disagree with us are enemies who must be destroyed. In the words of a Calvin and Hobbes cartoon, enmity sells, but we can find helpers who aren't self-serving and have the good of humanity at heart, like peace activist Christine Ahn and retired Air Force General Dan Leaf, who once commanded the U.S. forces in the Pacific. They're working together to promote diplomacy in the Korean Peninsula despite daunting odds. Reflecting the wisdom of many veterans, Leaf says, "From my service in combat, I know that war should be the last choice. Peace is not the absence of war, but the active restoration of broken relationships." Thomas Merton has said that we are not at peace with others because we are not at peace with ourselves, and we are not at peace with ourselves because we are not at peace with God. This evokes the great gospel commandment to love God and to love our neighbor as ourselves. To live in peace means that none of these loves is lacking or is out of balance with the others. The Prince of Peace comes to heal the relationship of humanity with its Creator, offering us wholeness. Perhaps our first step toward peace and reconciliation is accepting Dorotheus of Gaza's insight that the root cause of our troubles is that no one will blame himself, and we can savor Paul's definition of the peace of God as a peace which surpasses all understanding. I find that a relief, because if in my vulnerable, prideful humanity I ever came to think that I fully understood God's peace, there surely would be something less than the peace God intends for us. Come, Lord Jesus, Prince of Peace. For more stories, please visit our website, www.pamphletstoinspire.com.